Hello everyone, welcome to our very first episode of the SKT Spotlight. Today, we're your hosts, I'm Yumo.
And I'm Matt.
And today we'll be delving into animal welfare. And for our very first topic, for this very first podcast, we've invited teacher Sonia to talk about the animals here.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Teacher Soumya, so can you give us a quick introduction about yourself, if you don't mind?
So you all know my name. My name is Miss Soumya. I'm from India. I've been in Myanmar for a very long time, more than 10 years. I'm very passionate about animals, dogs especially.
So let's start off with what initially sparked your interest in wanting to help protect these animals and collecting money for vaccinations. I mean, what started it all?
So, like I told you, since a very, very young age, since as long as I can remember, my mom tells me when I was 3, I used to bring stray puppies from the road to our house and I used to bathe them, clean them, keep them with me. And if my parents used to ask them to leave those puppies again, and I used to cry a lot and create a lot of, drama around the house. So, I think it's just there in me since a very, very young age. And in Myanmar, I saw a big opportunity to help the stray dogs because what I saw was they were not taken very good care of. They were not very formal NGOs or formal institutions here which takes care of these animals.
Right. So another question is, what are some challenges that arise when trying to protect animals in Yangon?
There are a lot of challenges, I think. For somebody like me who cannot speak Burmese, the biggest challenge that I face whenever I want to help a stray animal is the ability to communicate because, I can't speak the language very well. I can't interact with the locals or the neighborhood where I find these animals or find ways of helping these animals because of my limited language ability. Secondly, like I said, I don't find institutions here, though there are some NGOs, but we need more than just NGOs. I don't see a lot of work done here to help the animals in a legal way, okay, because of which there is a debilitating condition of these stray animals, right? Also, there is a lack of awareness in the general public. I mean, of course, there are some neighborhoods which are very well aware, and I see a lot of them very actively taking care of these animals. In my neighborhood, in the township where I live, there is a lady who collects money every month from the nearby households to feed all the stray animals. We have around 15-20 dogs, so we just pay the money, she collects the money, and morning, evening, she feeds the dogs, she vaccinates them regularly by calling the vet. But I am not sure this is happening from every town to town. So naturally, we need to do more work on creating awareness of the people.
So in your opinion, is there anything that the government can do to, improve the situation about the stray dogs in Yangon?
So I can give you an example from India. In India, where I live in Ahmedabad, there are, apart from NGOs are always there. Apart from NGOs, the local government has many dog shelters. So, and we know the numbers of these dog shelters, these are put as signboards in different neighborhoods throughout the city. So if you find a dog in need, or for example, if you find a dog which is handicapped, is being bullied by other dogs, or if you find a lot of stray puppies or dogs who are malnourished, then you can just call these NGOs or these government institutions. They will come with their van. They will coordinate with you because you will give them the address where you have seen the animals last. They'll come and they'll pick their animals, and then they regularly also post updates on Facebook, to reach the audience, to disseminate information about how they are taking care of these animals, as well as to seek some voluntary support or some financial support. So that's something that has worked well in
India.
The city where I live in India.
Oh, I see.
So as you mentioned before, there are people who are aware of the situation of what's happening with these dogs, and there are people who are not aware. And so for people that are aware, what do you think we should do as students to help these animals and help protect them?
Well, whatever limited number of NGOs we have here, because see, helping these stray animal is a collective effort. It can't be done just by a few people. Sometimes these stray animal need a place to go to, especially if it's raining a lot. A place where they can be provided regularly with nourishment and with vaccinations and other things. Okay. So locals, what you can do, local people, what they can do is they can get in touch with these NGOs, okay, and to help them identify the stray animals which need help. Also, you can raise money to support these NGOs so that they are able to feed the dogs, take care of the cost of running the NGOs. For example, the NGO that I contacted, All Animal Yangon Shelter, they told me they have 130 dogs, and just imagine the cost of feeding these 130 dogs is around 27 lakh chats a month. So that's a big cost. So that means they will definitely need continuous supply of money just to feed the dogs. Forget about running expense of the NGOs. So locals can donate by charity. Locals can also go and volunteer there, because taking care of 130 dogs, you need a lot of manpower. So when I contacted them, they said, "Oh, you're a school, you can send some of your students to come and help us with taking care of the dogs some days on the weekends." So there are many ways in which, we all can contribute.
Would you say the finance and manpower is the only thing that can be used to as students to help the dogs? Would you say that there's any other way?
Apart from it, there was one very sad story that I heard from one of the NGOs. I don't remember which one. And that's what motivated the owner of that NGO to start that NGO. So what she heard was, and this happened some time back, so I don't know if this practice still happens. So she used to feed a group of stray dogs in her neighborhood, and one day she couldn't find any of those stray dogs. And then when she investigated a little bit more, what she discovered was the body of all the stray dog. So what she told was that, the municipal or the local government poisons the stray dogs here. I do not know to what extent this is true, because I haven't seen this myself, to get rid of the stray dogs. So if this is happening, then we need to get rid of this practice, because at the end of the day, yeah, there is nobody responsible for these dogs, but it is still a precious life. You don't have the right to take away life from anybody.
So how do you think we should spread awareness about problems like these, and how we should spread awareness to help these dogs to people who are not aware?
So first of all, identify, in your neighborhood. So everybody in your township, in your neighborhood, identify where do you have a lot of stray dogs, and look at their conditions when you are taking a walk in the evening. Do you think they are properly fed? Is there any mechanism, like you studied about collective self-governance, like some communities, they come together and they take care of the stray dog. If that's happening, then it's already a kind of self-sustained community. But there are definitely a lot of neighborhood and townships where this doesn't happen. We need to identify and isolate these kind of neighborhoods from the ones who are already taken care of. Once you have identified, then we need to contact the NGOs to take in these dogs, especially if they are very malnourished or they are sick and they need dire help. We contact these agencies, and we are a community of very compassionate teachers, parents, and students, and we raise money, and we support the financial aspect of taking care of these dogs through Facebook, through different type of advertising.
Can you tell us more about the activities that we'll be doing in order to fundraise for the improvement of the...
So some of the ideas that I have is, you can organize a movie night, you can have an entry ticket, you can do a bake sale, that's easy. You can ask teachers to cook one dish, they can bring and give it to you so that you can sell it in school. You can have a fun fair if that's possible. Primary kids love fun fair. Some days you can organize, like Teacher Baba is very good with face painting. You can ask her to do face painting for the kids for a small amount of fees. And of course, do some donations. I'm sure teachers, I will be willing to help. So teachers and parents, especially, I've seen whenever the communities need, they donate a lot. They donate with their full hearts, So you can also do donations. Keep a big target. Okay, don't take a small target. If you just take a target of 5 lakh, that's nothing. 2-3 teachers can just sponsor the whole thing. This NGO that we are in contact with, Pearl Heart Shelter, they need a lot of money, not just for feeding the dogs. Forget about feeding the dogs. Okay, they don't have a cemented floor. So what happens in flood is there's a lot of sludge because the floor is all full of mud. And the conditions worsen during the 6 months rainy season here. So our target should be a big target. Okay, and we can all come together as a school to support you all in this target. So our target should be getting the floor cemented so that every year, see, this is a long-term impact you will be creating. Feeding the dogs will be just a monthly impact. But if we are able to create a concrete floor for them, then this is going to last for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, a very long-term impact that you will be doing. So you need to take a bigger targets, then, concentrate all your energy on that. And I'm sure we'll be able to reach this target.
So after this project, looking ahead, like what are your goals and aspirations for protecting these dogs or animals in general?
So apart from just donating money, that's very easy for anybody to do, it's the easiest thing you can do. I would also like to volunteer, go there, take care of the dogs, identify what are their needs. Like I was walking in my community and I saw a dog which was handicapped, his one limb was just, maybe he lost it during an accident or something. So I would like to identify these kind of animals around Yangon, maybe go around a trip with a local so that he or she can help me in communicating with the local language, identify these animals, and then taking them to the dog shelter. That's what I would like to do.
So those are currently
The
the questions that we have.
So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So-
It was truly very informative and knowledgeable session. So thank you so much, teacher,
Thank
for
you.
joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Stay tuned for the next one.
I hope you do a big impact through these activities.
Thank you. We'll try our best.